Alright, so I'm stuck here in the shop. Can't do anything because I'm waiting for some shit to come in the mail. So, in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out what exactly I can do. And I decided I'm going to make a standing desk for the shop. And more specific, I need a standing desk for the plasma table. I've got the computers and whatnot all built into the side of the machine, but the screen and the keyboard and the mouse I'm going to need to use, and I don't want to run cable up through the ceiling of my shop and back down and around. So I picked up this sucker right here on Craigslist today for $100, and I'm going to convert it into kind of mid-century modern lines is what I'm thinking, and also make it functional for the shop. Just because I'm going to beat the hell out of it doesn't mean it can't look cool, right? For budget build, well under $200. I think I'm at $169 right now in total parts and materials. So let me show you what I have so far. This was $100. We got 4 caster wheels, 2 spinning with locks, and 2 just straight guys. So it'll roll like a shopping cart. Those are $36. The hardware, I got washers, bolts, nice Teflon nuts. These kind of like self-locking, so you don't need lock washers. All 3 of those combined, $15 in hardware. I also bought a 2 foot by 4 foot piece of nice oak laminated 3/4 inch thick plywood for $18. That's it right there. It's going to be our new tabletop because I wanted some edge to overhang all the way around the table. That way I could clamp stuff down to it. And last but not least, the parts we're going to fabricate here in the shop is 8 pieces of 3 inch by 5 inch rectangle and 4 little angly legs here that I'm cutting at a 105-degree angle. And these are 15 1/4 inches long. That's what they're going to end up as. So I'm counting this as free because I got it out of my scrap pile. Total in all, I am $169 all in to this so far. So you guys want to go ahead and start building this thing? We got our pieces cut out, 8 of these, 4 legs. These wheels are going to sit on those. Fits up pretty nicely. I'm going to drill these corners out so I get 4 holes, 2 and 2. Then we'll go ahead and weld them up to the top and the bottom of this tubes right here. Next order of business here is we got to take our legs and attach them to the bottom of our cabinet. And that's what these bolt holes are for. I could have bolted these wheels up on here also, but I just decided to go quick and weld it a little bit faster that way. So in order to do that, we're going to need to take out that bottom drawer to get access to underneath there. Alright, if you can see right here, this whole drawer actually just sits in these little clips here. So you get that clip out of there. That side drops down. I guess they're just held on by some little clips on the inside too. So that half of the drawer bearings dropped out of here, but no big deal. If it came out, it can go back in, right? See here, we got the bottom of the shelf up here, and we're gonna go ahead and lay these out. is what we're working with so far here. Got the 4 legs bolted up. This thing actually rolls pretty good. So I'm pretty tall, I made this 4 feet tall. That way I can stand here and work around, move the mouse, type on the keyboard, and still be really comfortable, lean on it when I get tired. Put my foot up here to rest a little bit. That's the beauty of custom and DIY. If you make it for yourself, I'm 6'4", so 4 foot tall standing desk does it for me, man. All right, this is about where we left off last night. I had the legs on down here, but as I'm rolling this thing around, I'm just noticing that I've got a lot of wiggle here in the legs. So I cut out some pieces. These guys right here, right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and weld them in down here across the bottom, just stiffen this whole thing up. And also, give myself a little foot rest. Not a bad touch. Let's get cracking on to the next step, and then we can get onto the tabletop and start finishing this thing and make it look good. Alright guys, so you can see this cowboy right here. You'll see why I'm going to put a new top on this. Right now, everything's flush with the rest of the cabinet, and so I've got nowhere to clamp to. Unless I want to like do something janky, open up one of these drawers. I don't want to deal with that. So instead, I got a nice piece of laminated 3/4 inch thick plywood at Home Depot, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that up on top right here. Ugh. See why I don't do carpentry? What a mess. Now that we have the 3-year-old's glue up done, go ahead and throw this sucker up on top. Just kind of go to town around definitely the corners. Of course, this corner. Whoop. Make sure we're actually on the tabletop. Alright, now we've got that sucker sitting on there. Nice and flat. Best part of all, I now have something to clamp to. Boom! Alright guys, next order of business, 80 grit sandpaper. You guys can't tell you, I was not born a patient man. So when it comes to anyways, what we're saying? Oh yeah, I'm shitty at being patient. So when it comes to finishing wood, I really don't have time for all the polys and thanes and thins and Danish oils and all that kind of stuff. So I really like soft furniture wax. This stuff is just wax. It's got some sort of dye in it, and basically as soon as you're done rubbing it on, this shit is ready to go. It looks nasty, but it does the job. It'll pick up, you know, in a lot of different woods. Even some, I'm trying to think, maple is famous for picking up stain, really uneven and splotchy all over, not looking very good. This wax works a little differently, and you can actually put it on just about anything. Maple, this is oak, and you get a really nice stain. It comes in all sorts of different colors. I'm not repping one brand or another. I've never met a bad furniture wax. And here's the deal, you know, you get into these little nooks and crannies. You can see this little scratch right there, it's not picking up. All you do Boom. Wipes right away. So the really nice thing about this is once you're done, like I said, rubbing it on, it is ready to go. And hopefully you guys see this. I'm just taking liberal scoops of this stuff. You don't have to be real careful with it. It's not that messy. It's not gonna spill. And you get a little too much buildup here in one spot like that. Super simple. Just rub the shit out of it and spread the love. You can see here, this end over here is looking really nice and dark. This end over here is a little bit lighter, so no big deal. Put some more schmutz over here, even the color out. All right, even here along the front. And this, I like this plywood. It picks up, see even here right along the front, even with this plywood it picks up. I don't know if these are really end grains, but it picks up the different layers in the plywood and just shouts out like, hey, I'm plywood. I'm not fancy hardwood. Don't trip. Go ahead and put a clamp on me. Go ahead and put a cold glass with condensation dripping off of it. I don't care. I'm just plywood. Actually, you know what this looks like? This looks like a Chipotle tabletop. Which I don't know if you guys have been to Chipotle lately, but if you notice, all it is plywood tables in there. Nothing fancy. So you guys want to make your own Chipotle tabletop? That's how you do it. Now that we have the wax applied over the whole top, here's where the last little piece comes in, okay? Is right now, you've got all this wax sitting up on there. And a lot like wax on a snowboard, what you need is heat, right? So this wax is sitting up on top of here, and we want it to get kind of liquid and sink into the pores a little bit more so it bonds with the wood instead of laying on top of it. And once we do that, we'll have basically a waterproof surface. So I love using this wax in my house because you can just put glasses on here, let the water beat up, you'll watch it pool up on top, it will not soak in. Because it's wax, it's repelling all the water, and just wipe it up, no big deal. After a couple years, this starts getting old, starts getting dinged up. All you gotta do, bring yourself a rag in the house, bring some of the wax in, and you don't have to worry about spilling this. Obviously you don't want to get it on your furniture and whatnot, but it's really easy to keep this and this contained, and go ahead and touch up little spots and buff them out. But the last thing here is you really just have to buff the shit out of it with a clean part of the cloth, and all you're trying to do is build up heat in this wax. So really, the harder and faster and crazier you get with it, the better it's going to turn out. Give me a minute, I'm going to get down on this. Alright, here we've got our standing desk taking shape here, but now I just got to figure out how am I going to finish this thing up. I want it all to kind of look uniform. Obviously, this tabletop is not stained the same color as these drawers, and after closer inspection I realized that the wood on the front of these drawers is actually just a vinyl wrap. So I think I'm going to take the drawers down to bare metal and then leave the rest of this black and paint these legs black as well, and then I'll just have kind of some brushed metal doors with flat black surround is what it'll end up being with that nice wood tabletop. That way it won't have like the wood on wood clashy thing going on here. Look kind of tacky. Alright guys, here I've got the drawer faces. I got all that nasty wood, fake wood, vinyl stuff off of there. And this is pretty much what I want it to look like, is this kind of brushed finish here, if you guys can see that. But while I'm here set up, got the camera, got the light, got me of course, I just kind of wanted to show you, I finished it with some 60 grit sandpaper, and that's what gives you this kind of pretty nice even brushed look. Almost maybe looks like some galby here, like galvanized. But I want to show you guys a couple other options. If you'd like, we could have left it with the wire wheel finish, so I'll show you what that looks like real quick here. Alright, you can see that kind of shines it up a little bit. It gives it a little bit more pop. This is more that brushed, kind of duller look. But also this will show kind of your swirl marks or a grain. So if you push everything, all of your grain, if your wheel's spinning this way, it's going to be pushing all the grain like this. So if you all of a sudden turn that grinder and start going this way, you'll get a different kind of reflection off of the light. So you got to be really careful when you're doing that you keep that wheel always facing in the same direction, same orientation as you go through here. Otherwise, you'll get a lot more splotchy finish than what you got right here. Another option you have is a flap wheel. This is basically just like a really high RPM sanding disc. And what you do with this is kind of same deal. Okay, and then this gives you that really nice, almost machined looking, shiny finish that you see on a lot of stuff. But also you can kind of see the grain. I don't know if the camera's picking it up that well, but there's definitely a grain going across this way. You can see the directions the wheel's spinning, and you can also see the direction of travel with the wheels. As I was going up and down, it's kind of leaving these up and down marks. So if you're being artistic, that's all great. You can make this look really cool. It just takes a little bit extra effort. But for a nice, even, smooth finish, when you're all done, I really like some 60 grit sandpaper on a random orbital sander. And that's how you get a nice brushed look. I even hit these aluminum handles just to kind of dull them out a little bit. I don't want them shining and popping out at you so much. Alright, now to finish this up, I don't want it to rust, but I want to keep this nice, bare, brushed metal finish. So the best way to do that is some matte clear. Most clear you find is going to be high gloss, and I just don't really like that look. It's a little too loud for me, a little bit too much. So I prefer to use this matte clear. So we got the drawers cleared, so they should stay nice and shiny for me. Last step here is throw some flat black on the rest of this. Here is our finished standing desk.